So as you can tell, we're ruminating a lot lately on what Citron's deal is. Just keep that one in mind for later. Also,
You know, you love to wake up from a nap and then just find you on the other side of the room going, wake the fuck up.
Look, not that we haven't made up since, but like, I just gotta say that we have an extremely bad track record with being woken up by you. So yeah, as you've probably noticed, the central ongoing plot thread that the DLC is dealing with is what exactly the hell is going on with Citron? What was his deal? What exactly is the link between him and Sidwell? I bring all this up to underline the point that there is a lot that the game has actually made pretty clear at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point I have a pretty good understanding of this whole mess.
And my only real concern is that there's an extent to which I think they want us to they keep treating this as an open mystery. And I don't know exactly how much that they expect you to have pieced together at this point. But you can piece a decent amount of it together, although if you have pieced a decent amount of it together, I am here to reassure you that there will still be revelations coming, don't you worry. I'm just saying that the mystery pacing of this is a little weird. Also, Jesus Christ Entertainment.
I mean, does this surprise you in the slightest?
Maybe a tiny bit.
Like, you mean to tell me that when they learned that Satoshi wasn't one of the Evatars, or like when he was, that wasn't like a big part of that, like written up into the contract that minute was, and also you have to come back to work for us.
It does seem pretty on brand, even if they were pragmatic enough to, you know, turn down the whole Evatar project in the first place. But fuck it, since these guys are here and they're alive and we can't kill them, might as well put them to work. Wait, what? Is that an Entertainment Direct? Yeah, we knew. We've known the whole time. I'm just going to assume that in the distant space future, that we're still doing live stream announcements in the style of Nintendo Direct. Probably have a famous voiceover guy and everything.
So is the implication here that Satoshi has an alt that is like level 70 something and could do this dungeon?
I mean, maybe he had one, but this is the Evotar, he doesn't really get to choose. But, like, it makes sense. He would have had whatever accounts he had. And then this was the one that got dragged into the Sidwell business. Kind of a bit late to be changing that. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Oh well. Come on, man. Existential crisis is not going to save you from this. There we go. I don't really understand why we're doing the meeting here. Like, it's not like anyone else is present. We could do this at the guild headquarters.
We could do this literally anywhere. But then we wouldn't be able to sit here and admire all of these wonderful sitting sprites that they drew up.
Now, I have to take a moment to address how much I enormously respect the fact that they give you this dialogue choice here, at this point, to Emily right now. And if you say no, she will chill the fuck out about the race. Of course, we're not going to do that because I have a reputation to uphold, but I'm just saying, for the first time in known history, you can tell Emily to chill the hell out, and she will respect it. Lynn, you were finished. You said yourself there was nothing to say. I don't understand what your objection is. Oh well, one last round of phone calls. It occurs to me that there were a couple times when we were doing the races that had both Emily and Citron present, that every now and then Citron would show up in Fire Temple. Citron showed up at the middle first, and then was Dragon at the end. So you gotta wonder, like, he just alluded to the fact that he wasn't playing these for the first time. So was he deliberately holding back during the races?
I mean, it would
makes
be...
you think.
It would be a pretty logical thing to do. You know, you go in like Apollo and your cover gets blown.
Unfortunately, we cannot hang with Shizuka because she is too busy grinding. Anyway, this is, I believe, the first point, well, maybe not literally the first point, but probably the first point it's going to occur to you to roll with a party of Luke and Lucas. This is the party you choose when you want stuff to die real quick. They are not interesting at all in their technique. They just have really high attack, and use the correct elements to use it against enemies. And as you can imagine, running with literally the same person twice, well, I guess not literally the same person twice due to the personal and philosophical principles we've already outlined, but basically having the same person twice does alter the vibe a little bit. So yeah, Luke and Lucas are one of the pairs that has some things to say to each other. Also, I do appreciate how efficiently they can take down those ballooners. Lately, I wonder how actually interesting it is to play a Tri-Blader. We never get to see a lot of their techs. I think we're just supposed to take it for granted that they have techs that aren't element warblers. We just never see them.
You know, nothing wrong with the pointy sword. Can't disagree.
I also wonder if the Tri-Blader class doesn't just have techs. They're not like combat arts, just like tech. Also, I was incredibly disappointed to find that neither Luke nor Lucas has anything to say in response to the Tri-Blader corner.
Now that's a missed opportunity.
Like, Emily comments on the gathering of Pentafists in Rhombus Square, but no one comments on the Tri-Blader corner. Anyway, we can go directly to Sapphire Ridge and just start the final dungeon right now, even if that's a little bit incongruous with how they were saying that it's happening tonight and it's still notionally the morning, you know, the usual galactic timekeeping concerns aside. So, in this video, we are mainly going to be dealing with these people. And I am going to absolutely blow your minds by telling you that these are backers.
No. Impossible.
In particular, this guy is a backer, and there is a non-0% chance that you might recognize his name, because I gather this guy has gotten around. And speaking of this guy getting around, I've kinda gotta hand it to him. On this occasion, we have managed to deliver a backer quest that is more or less entirely in keeping with the CrossCode vibe. Because it has, I'm gonna say pretty close to exactly the correct level of self-aware irony, in that this is a quest about a guy who literally ends up everywhere, but always at the wrong place and never entirely quite fitting in. And by absolutely no real planning, we're also going another round with Sal today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, it's possible that somebody else in this video might not have exactly the correct level of self-aware irony. And I'm pretty sure that that's also deliberate. Like, you will not be able to convince me that this here man is not being ironically over-ironic. I'm kind of getting a bit of a headache just trying to compute the irony levels at work here. I'm also kind of getting a headache for, normal, regular reasons.
This guy's got some big Apollo energy, and not in the good way.
Not even a tiny bit of the good way. Also, I still hate Bergen Village, and I always walk directly into that building when trying to just navigate off of this goddamn screen. I hate it. I hate Bergen Village. I'm sorry, it's a bad environment. So, here's some hedgehogs in Bergen Trail. Here's some level 70 hedgehogs in Bergen Trail.
That seems a little, high for Bergen Trail.
And yeah, these aren't boosted or anything, this is just what we're dealing with. To say nothing of the fact that these aren't supposed to be here. What the hell's going on? Right, sure, fuck it. We'll be right with you. Just gotta take care of something real quick first. Alright, Lucases, I'm gonna need you to give us a minute.
Sal, I'm thinking you and we have the exact same feelings about this, and yet still here we are. It seems like we could just not,
Right?
We don't have to do this. It's you!
In the fourth duel, Sal does actually introduce a new gimmick. He starts throwing out these bombs, and they hurt. They will make very large numbers of numbers come out of you. I earnestly do not recommend standing near those. Also, he just gets, generically more dangerous. His numbers are higher, his attacks do more damage. I think he gets a little bit dodgier, although that might just be me messing with stuff, because he's pretty nippy just by default. So don't take this one lightly.
What indeed?
Leah, just don't. Just put this out of your mind. No good will come of this. Alright, where were we?
Well, we found the pink tree. Ah. I suppose these penguins are a little bit out of place.
Yeah. I can't help but note that this is the second time that a quest by a backer has put us in contact with a person with implausibly good kiting skills. The one guy managed to get an enormous amount of samurai bugs into that one screen in Sapphire Ridge, although at least the samurai bugs were actually native to Sapphire Ridge. This guy is getting high-level enemies to chase him into entirely different biomes, which, I'm sure I don't have to point out, is not actually possible. Either in, CrossCode or canonically in Crossworlds. So, what the fuck, Raze? What did you do?
Can't believe he's a hacker on top of being an awful NPC.
Hard agree. But alas, we don't get to do this. Sergey, nobody asked you. Now, you might be thinking that this could be literally anywhere in, the mushroom zone. But by now you've possibly intuited that Raze always shows up somewhere near a landmark. So you put that together and, well, this can be solved pretty quickly. Anyway, he's learning. We've got enemies from Maroon Valley and from Autumn's Fall in here. This is actually pretty annoying. The game wants us to be using our ice stuff and knocking these guys around, and this terrain is weird. And you've got Tim throwing burning rocks at you, you've possibly got the cow charging around. This place is full of little nooks and crannies and, like, just obstructions. Visual and physical, it's just there's problems in this fight, is what I'm getting at here. And this is assuming you're managing the overload properly. But like, see, I spent a couple seconds just trying to shoot this guy, and I just kept hitting the mushrooms. And then I hit him with an Eternal Winter and he didn't die. These guys aren't fucking around anymore.
That is unfortunate.
I guess I should probably note at some point that one of the little oddities of our current build, we're running a focus build. I haven't really meaningfully changed equipment since the one time I showed you the equipment screen in literally the first episode of the DLC. So, because we're running the focus build, our stats are actually technically quite low, but we can get through fights by way of using critical hits. And we get crits a lot because we got very high focus and we're running double bullseye, so when we get those crits we fuck things up. But when we don't get crits, we just wind up hitting things for not a whole lot of damage. And our defense isn't great, and our hit points aren't great. Our base attack is not great. Running a focus build is very fun, but also very weird and occasionally fraught. And I like it. It keeps things spicy.
Oh, it's a hack alright, just not the kind that you're thinking of.
Ooh, burn. Anyway, what if literally every random mob from the whole game showed up in Rhombus Square and we had to fight them all?
What if they didn't?
Well, then things wouldn't be very interesting, would they?
I don't think interesting is what we want here, though, to be honest.
That's true only in canon, but, you know, us, the player, playing the game, we eat this shit up. Like, this is the thing, I fast-forwarded through this because content-wise this isn't amazing, but on the other hand, this is literally just... we just continuously fight probably the single largest variety of enemies in a single encounter, all at once, and it's just, we do it continuously, and it's great. These guys are capable of tanking a single hit Eve snipe, even when down, so that's something. I probably could have done some bouncing, but you are seeing the terrain here, right? I'm not getting any trick shots. It's not happening, I'm sorry. Fortunately, even if you don't bounce it, the first hit of Ether Snipe is it's pretty good unless you manage to hit them hit these guys in the little window where they're not actually fully vulnerable, then it's maybe kind of a waste. Honestly, these guys are just kind of weird to fight sometimes. How did you get here? We're on an island.
Thank God somebody finally stepped in.
No objections here. What was with that guy? Her. What a weird, complete stranger. Can't lie, I was kind of looking forward to getting to like style on him in retaliation for all this. But oh well. His friend's here to fill in for him though.
I like how Preela is like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. I'm gonna go get a drink. Why don't you go fight Leia?
Can't fault the mindset. Still nobody does regular PvP anymore, it's all custom cups now that they've suddenly remembered that this thing exists. Anyway, the reason this is exciting is not because of anything to do with this being a backer quest. There's a Vermilion Cup, by the way. No. The reason this is exciting is because Lily is a hexacast. So, for the first time in, like, recorded history, we can PvP somebody other than a Ceremancer. Will wonders never cease? Also, she's got a higher difficulty rating than Apollo does, so there's that too. By the way, take a moment to appreciate the billboards around this arena when you spot them. Anyway, it turns out, at least I think the implications based on the shit that we see during this fight, is that Citron has been holding the fuck out on us. You never see him do any of this shit. Like, what the fuck is this? Lily's techs are all really weird. They come out unpredictably. They're real difficult to dodge. They hit you a lot of times. This is a clusterfuck. Also, I don't believe she has fire techs. I've never seen her use fire. I only ever see her use shock, wave, and ice. But yeah, as you can imagine, she's got a lot of ranged attacks. That right there, where she like skids around firing ice shards at us, is pretty much her only real melee tech. Everything else is some kind of weird, bouncy, unpredictable, ranged fuckery. And when you get to the round 3 or later is when she starts breaking out the real bad stuff. Like this fucking tornado. you pretty much have to use dash arts to get away with it. Otherwise, it will just catch you and hold you there, and you will take like a million billion hits, and if you don't literally die right then, you will probably die really soon after. Another general theme of all of her attacks is that they all give her, basically, they all do passive stuff. Also, look how quickly she recovers from that. Like, I activated glitch time and she just dodged away from it. What the fuck? So yeah, this is a pretty good example of her passive stuff. She just activates this thing and then just continues fighting you normally. So you still gotta dodge away from a million billion bullets. She's literally combining two different level 3 techs here. This did give me a good opportunity to bust out a karma scale though. And where's my health? I just absorbed like a bunch of attacks from karma scale and it left me on 0 health. What the hell? I cannot believe I won that round. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, it's really, really difficult to hit her with Ether Snipe, but I did it. And that was when I knew that this was the take. This is a hell of a fight. Incidentally, if you win this in straight rounds, it's more or less an automatic platinum, just by virtue of how the scores break down, so that's fun as well.
Nice. Tronny does have some explaining to do, doesn't he?